This is my first ever video blog. I've been wanting to do this for a long time, but I've been putting it off, mainly because I know that there's no way I could ever do this in a way that would be perfect, and I really struggle with this perfection complex that I don't want to make anything public unless I feel like I've got it perfect, and it's been a real hindrance to me over the years because there are things I've wanted to do, wanted to try, but I've never taken the first step because I couldn't get over the need to feel like I needed to somehow produce a perfect product. And I know it's not possible to do that with a video blog. The lighting's never going to be quite right. The camera work isn't going to always be at the right angle. I mean, right now I'm filming this. I've got my iPhone stacked up on a Harry Potter book, propped up against a bowl of fruit on my kitchen table. So that's about as far from perfection as you can get. But this is a discipline for me. This is an exercise. I want to do this, and I want to get it out there so that I got the first one behind me so that I can start doing these and seeing if there's not something I can learn from putting this stuff out, and maybe it'll bring some variety to the blog. I usually just write, and maybe some of you would rather listen to me speak than read my words. That's probably not true, but I don't know why you'd want to look at me. But either way, you got it. So this is a video blog. That's what video blogs are. They're videos. And we've definitely departed from perfection at this point. What I wanted to do today was tell you about one of my favorite books of all time. It's a book I read a couple of months ago when I was trying to discern what my next steps were going to be vocationally, what my next work would look like. And it's called Let Your Life Speak by Parker Palmer. And it's a fantastic little book, a collection of essays he wrote about vocation. It's listening for the voice of vocation. Let your life speak. And I love Palmer's writing style. I love the stories he tells. He's got a gentle spirit and really helps me get to the heart of some of the questions I ask myself when I'm trying to figure out, what am I made for? What am I supposed to do in the world? What am I doing when I'm at my best? And what does the world most need me to do when I'm at my best? And just a great, great book. But I wanted to share with you one of the stories he tells in the book. He, at one point in his life, had been given the opportunity to become president of a small educational institution. And he says in the book, he'd be the first to tell you, he should never be the president of anything. He's a writer, he's a teacher, he's a thinker, but not necessarily presidential for any kind of institution. But he was really intrigued and enamored with this opportunity to be the president of something. Now, Parker Palmer is a Quaker, so what he did was convene a clearness committee. And it's a Quaker practice where you invite a group of people that you trust to come over and sit in a circle with you when you're facing a tough decision, and they just ask you questions for 3 hours. They don't give advice, they just ask questions. And the purpose of this exercise is to ask enough questions that you begin to become clear as to your motives, your thoughts, your heart, and perhaps get some clarity as to what you should do next. So he convened a clearness committee to talk about this possibility of being the president of this educational institution. And he says in the book, he says, I really wasn't inviting them to be a part of this committee so they could ask me questions. I really just wanted to brag that I had been offered the job, and I had already made up my mind that I was going to accept it. But he invited them, and these people sat in a circle with him, and they began to ask him questions. And at first, they were just a general kind of vision questions. What would you do if you were the president? How would you help change the institution? What would your goals be? And he had great answers for all those questions. And then finally, someone in the circle asked him a question that turned out to be very hard for him to answer. The question was this: what do you think you would like most about being the president? And Palmer says he immediately began to answer by describing all the things he wouldn't like. He wouldn't like having to give up his teaching and his writing. He wouldn't like the politics that are involved, organizational politics when you're the head of an institution. He wouldn't like not always knowing who his friends were because people were going to treat him differently once he became president. And it went on and on and on. He kept describing things that he wouldn't like about being president. And the questioner would gently remind him, now, Parker, I asked you what you would like. And he would say, I know, I'm getting to that. And then he would continue to list things that he wouldn't like about being president. They continued to push him on this until finally he says, I guess the thing that I would like the most about being president is having my picture in the paper with the word president underneath it. And there it was. It was a moment of honesty. It was a moment of clarity. And that's when the person who had been asking the question gently asked Parker another one. He said, Parker, don't you think there are easier ways for you to get your picture in the paper? I love that story. And I love the idea of a clearness committee. I had somebody call me the other day facing a tough decision and just trying to figure out how do I know what to do next. We all have those tough decisions. We all come to that crossroads where we're not sure which way to go. I wonder how many of us would benefit from just being able to get some friends together and explain to them the ground rules. Don't give me advice. Don't tell me what to do. Just ask me question after question after question so that I could get some clarity. Love that story. Love this book. And I think I'm done with my first video blog. Thanks for watching.